Live from Virginia, welcome race fans, one and all, back to Green Flag TV, where this afternoon we are set to duke it out once again for the Bolt Racing League's Premier Series. Welcome to the Lightning Series from the action track. It's Richmond, Virginia. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the show. My name is Ola Bramble, bringing you all of racing action from start to finish here on Friday night. Boy, what a night it is set to be this afternoon. 200 laps are set to kick off from this brilliant 3/4 of a mile short track. It is the first short track race of the season, and no doubt bound to be an intense drive from start to finish. This track, of course, one of the only short tracks on the season, and in fact, this is going to be the second shortest track these guys visit all season long. The only one that will be shorter will be Bristol Motor Speedway for the All-Star race, and the only one that comes close would be the Iowa Speedway, its sister track, at the top of the round of 8. So this year, one of the shortest tracks we're going to be visiting all season long, the shortest track for points racing. Going to make sure we're going to be in for an absolutely fantastic drive here this afternoon. Time to beat, time to bang, and trying to see who's going to end up where at the end of 200 laps. Stages will be the end of laps 35 and then at the halfway point at 100. So drivers will have plenty of action to duke it out for themselves and pick up all the points they can on the racetrack here this afternoon. And right now, weather conditions just about as ideal as one could hope for. 80 degrees Fahrenheit in the air, just hotter by 3 on the racing surface. Pretty much clear skies, not a single cloud in sight as far around as you look. A little bit of wind blowing off to the southeast and a bit of humidity in the air, but otherwise, hey, that's looking like some pretty ideal track temps. And of course, with it being just past 8 p.m. Eastern time, we are set to go racing into the dusk here this afternoon. So we'll take a rundown of the finishes we've had so far this season. And of course, last week's race went right down to the wire with Dalton Kilroe taking the race win in a 3-wide pass in turns 3 and 4 at the Echo Park Speedway. Stole that win, I believe, only by about 7 thousandths of a second, meaning that across both finishes of this season, the combined total margin of victory still stands at under 100. I mean, that is an insane stat for any league to have. Now, we're only 2 races in, so of course we're going to be having a much bigger number this afternoon, but hey, that still means you've had 2 very wild races to kick off the season. Of course, we had a caution-filled race last week in Atlanta, down in Hampton, Georgia, and of course, Daytona went relatively caution-free. Will tonight go the way of Echo Park Raceway? I doubt it's going to go the way of Daytona. I'm willing to bet might get something a little bit more in the middle. It helps that this track is not blisteringly hot, and it also helps that the setup hasn't quite changed on the field to the point where they're not able to really predict it all that much. So some things are going to be going in favor for the BRL Lightning Series field here this afternoon. You got over 25 cars right now trying to qualify around this racetrack. And among those, Justin Johnson, just starting, in fact, just finishing up his first qualifying lap and trying to see if he's got an answer for the rest of the drivers further up the field. And, well, he will not, because the Mach 5, number 33, going to loop that machine coming out of turn number 4. Bobby Blowers, meanwhile, well, just finished his effort, and he is going to put himself all the way up and into the number 6 spot. Not a bad time at all, then, for the driver of the number 34. And right now, Chris Melton sitting at the end of pit road, but he will not have enough time to get a time locked in here this afternoon. So right now, only a handful of seconds are left here before this race will kick off this Friday afternoon. 200 laps around the Richmond Raceway. It's called the action track for a reason. Expect to see a lot of big sends. Expect to see drivers wash up the track, trying to pull the sliders. Expect drivers to check doors, check bumpers, and everything in between. You are never too far away from trouble, so, well, you should never be too surprised if trouble comes and finds you here this place, even if you do your darndest to try and avoid it. With all that said and done, qualifying is going to officially draw to a close this afternoon. So we are just about set now to take a rundown of what your official starting grid is going to look like here this afternoon as the field will line on up. 13 rows, 26 cars, and they'll line up like this. Started on pole position, it is going to be Pacey Wygen for PBR Racing in that 00 Chevrolet. It's the HendrickCars.com, number 48, Peyton Schneider to start beside him by about half a tenth on the front row. Row number 2 then, headed up by Justin Johnson, 600s off the mark, alongside the team member of RD number 41 of Dalton Kilroe. Row 3 holds Blaine Schneider, close out the top 5 alongside Bobby Flowers of PBR Racing, with row 4 holding Connor Morse and Scott McCann out of Ireland in 7th and 8th. Closing out the top 10 then this afternoon, it's going to be the likes of Byron Jones and Rodney Ayers. Row 6, we bring Elena Pelletier-Sharp alongside Leigh Myers, and closing out the top half of the field this afternoon will be Alex Rickey. Zachary Wareham starts down to the 14th place with the Crusader number 95. Moving back to 15th place, it's Bailey Thompson for Golden Garden Autosport alongside Martin Roberg. 17th place going to hold Tristan Bear for the PBR Racing number 05 alongside the Valvoline number 43 of Matt Bryant. Top 20 then closed out by Kevin Burke and Casey Ellis. Headed back to the field, Ellis, the final car to put down qualifying laps, is going to be Mark Frimpong. Started in first alongside Chris Melton down in the number 22 spot. 23rd going to have Aaron Lester with an Napa Auto Parts number 86 alongside George Chiampoulos down in 14th. And closing out the field then will be Joey Gevedon and Chris Chiampoulos. Both Chiampoulos had some pretty big issues throughout Atlanta Motor Speedway. They were just never quite able to get things settled. They are both hoping for more this afternoon. Right now, top 20 have gridded on up. The does not look. Oh no, we have gotten some cars in the back of the field, but Frimpong, Lester, and both Giampoulos is going to miss the call this afternoon. So we'll be down to just 22 already, as the field will be looking to work their way up and around. Again, 2 pace laps on the boards here for us this afternoon as we look set to go to racing action here once again for the Richmond Raceway. This track, steeped in so much NASCAR history, for a long time served as the regular series cutoff race. Of course, plenty of controversies come out from here. Remember Dale Earnhardt Jr. and his feud with Kyle Busch. Of course, the infamous Spingate incident with Clint Boyer. Hopefully this afternoon will be the site of no controversies, and we can have ourselves a good, solid race for round number 3. Pace car going to make its way down into turn numbers 3 and 4. And out of that final corner is going to be Pacey Wygen into the restart zone. Time to get the party started. It's go, go, go for Richmond Raceway. Pacey Wygen going to lead the field to the green flag. They're double file for spots down through the field here this afternoon. Only 22 cars out of the 26 that were set to qualify made the start this afternoon. Here you see that number 89 machine of Connor Myers looking to the inside of Dalton Kilroe in a big battle for 5th place on the racetrack. One car has already gone around and looks to have been hard into the outside wall. That car, I believe, is Matt Bryant. You saw tire tracks up to the high side of turn 4. The number 60, meanwhile, trying to attack the 05 of Tristan Bear. That is Martin Roberg. Not able to get an in. Pacey Wygen losing ground relatively quickly to Justin Johnson. Take a jump back here. What happened to Matt Bryant? And looking like he may have had some help. Sent that car around, noses that thing up into the outside wall. And that puts us right back to racing action here this afternoon. Dalton Kilroe to the inside of Bobby Blowers, trying to make something happen. Byron Jones up on the top side. While Justin Johnson, fastest lap of the race as of lap number 2. So the field going to get themselves single filed out. Mostly everybody. Oh, hello, looking for 3-1 here. Coming down to the turn 1. Roberg on the bottom side. Bayer in the middle, and up top is going to be Lane Myers. They're somehow able to skedaddle around that without an incident, but boy, got a little close there for a hot second. Zachary Wareham in the mix of this as well, along with Bailey Thompson. Plenty of drivers throwing their hats into the ring this afternoon. Up towards the front, Pacey Wajcik continuing to lead the way. While the rest of the field struggling to maintain pace just behind. You see how much some of these back markers have dropped off as one car got wicked loose. That last time, by and around gonna go. Tristan Bayer slides down. He's gonna get into the inside wall. No yellow. Now the yellow flag comes out. So caution is out for the first time tonight, and it is gonna be Pacey Wajcik who continues to lead the way. So this all started coming around through turn numbers 1 and 2, and no contact. Tristan Bayer lost that all by his lonesome. He's going to spin down to the inside as they overcorrected. Did a good job to not put it into the outside wall. Slides down and goes nose first into the inside fence. On board to the Tristan Bayer, and boy, I mean, that was all she wrote. A few cars coming down to pit road. Kevin Burke is among them. So is Rodney. Sorry, Burke not among them. Ayers, Bayer, Ellis, Melton, and Gevedon all into pit road. You see Chris Chiampoulos, well, for a moment was sitting in pit road. Looks like he may have departed now, but fresh tires on and fuel going onto the car for a few. Will we get the one to go signal this time by? We will not. So still 2 laps to go this afternoon. Joey Gevedon given an end of the longest line penalty. Have to imagine that might be for some kind of a restart pit road violation. Right on board here with Gevedon. You see how much he slowed down. I think he may have been caught speeding there in the middle of pit road, and if he did, well, it'd be unfortunate, but that's the way the game goes. Of course, choose cone in play. And not too many surprises here. Most drivers kind of filing off. Alex Ricky, really the lone exception, will put 2 cars on the inside at once. Otherwise, they're going to look to pretty much evenly double them up all the way back throughout the field. Field going to work their way out of turn numbers 3 and 4. Ready to once again get the party started. Green flag is back in the air. A great launch from Pacey Wajcik. Jumping away with the early lead in the turn number 1. Double file for a second on back. Peyton Snyder pulls the inside. Bobby Blowers catches the outside wall. All good for now, though. We're going to keep them straight. Already approaching the halfway point in the opening stage here this afternoon. Remember, that stage draws to a close at the end of 35. Dalton Kilbro, Martin Roberg going to both drive up and around side by side as we'll rocket back down to turn 1. Justin Johnson and Connor Morse. They're side by side for third. That 89 car refusing to let Justin Johnson go. Still double file. They have been for about 2 to 3 laps now. And this time, Morse able to force the issue. He clears. Immediately, Blaine Snyder takes advantage of Justin Johnson and looks to the inside. The Black Rifle number 88 looking to the inside line. As the BRCC car get a track out of turn number 2 to the back straightaway. Still having a solid race and a long way to go in the fight. On board with Bobby Blowers as he looks for the outside of the 88 car. Can't quite get the nose in there. He's a second of a front row seat to watch as Snyder and Johnson try to go at it. Now tries a lunge around the outside. But still, Snyder gets a better drive out of 4 and pulls alongside the 33 down to the turn 1. And this time, looking like he's got him. He has. Oh, look out. Justin Johnson slides up the racetrack, going around, back of the field. How about that? Catches the car. Now the 27 is loose. Thompson going to go around. He gets hit by the 43. Caution finally going to come out. Matt Bryant with a big piece of contact in that. And with big damage as well. Boy, that did not go to plan. That kind of started with Justin Johnson up the road. Watch if he just gets loose out of turn 2. And then along comes Bailey Thompson. Tried to avoid, but his movements were too erratic. Cut to the inside, lost control. Spun right back up into traffic. And the 43 just going to run right over the right rear of that number 27 and breaks it off instantly. Several cars coming down pit road, including the 10th place runner. So we get another look at that one at speed. Well, that is such a weird incident. Right on board here with Justin Johnson. A little sideways, hopped up there, and then he ends up having to avoid the 27 car, spinning back up the racetrack. So sit rep for the top 10 as we have got 13 laps as of right now. Sorry, 14 laps to go in stage 1. Pacey Wagen leads the way. Patriot Snyder in second. Connor Morse in third. Then it's Blaine Snyder. Bobby Blowers, Elena Pelletier Sharp, Dalton Kilmer, Martin Roberg, Zachary Wareham, and Lane Myers. Matt Bryant had a meatball flag for that incident. And unfortunately, that has taken him out of the race this afternoon. Rough ride, not the way he wanted to go out. But this field now lined up 2 by, ready to go back to work. Field works out of turn numbers 3 and 4. Green flag is up in the air. As once again we charge into turn number 1. The 48 of Peyton Snyder looking to the inside of Bobby Blowers. Trying to make the drive for third. Blowers up top. Oh, and blades loose. Slides to the inside. Great catch. He's going to catch that thing down in the turn number 1. That disrupts Justin Johnson's run as Johnson wanted to go 3 wide in the turn 3, but with Blaine Snyder being right there, or Peyton Snyder being right there, sorry, just didn't work out that way. So Blaine Snyder maintains his momentum at the head of the field. Just behind them, Peyton Snyder and Lane Myers going to lunge into turn numbers 3 and 4. With Justin Johnson trying to track around the outside. We've got less than 10 laps to go in stage 1. Now 3 wide through turn numbers 3 and 4. And still 3 wide at the turn 1. Snyder down low. Johnson in the middle. Up top is Myers. Myers going to drop back into the clutches of the 19 of Byron Jones. Now, look at Peyton Snyder with a big slider. Loses out in the process. Content behind. And around goes Chris Melton. Scott McCann as well, nearly getting into the outside wall. They're all able to keep it together. But once more, time is quickly running out. Final laps of stage 1 moments away. There goes Bailey Johnson to the inside. 3 wide again. They are fighting to get up there to battle for the last spots up for grabs in stage 1. Double file still as we fight down the back straightaway into turn numbers 3 and 4. Now working to 1 and 2 for the front runners as we got 5 laps to go in the opening stage. Oh, look out, heads up. Around going to go the 89. Connor Moore is going to spin her down onto the back straightaway into turn number 3. Caution is out the field. Going to miss him. And we'll see if that's it for the stage or if we're going to get this race restarted. If that is the stage, that would mean Wygant wins with Snyder in second, then Bobby Blowers, then Kilrow, Sharp, Wareham, Jones, Roberg, Johnson, and Peyton Snyder. And the field going to take to pit road. Based on this, I would assume that the stage is effectively over. I don't know why you'd be pitting if you knew there was a 1-lap caution. So yes, this looks like it will be the end of the stage, which means Pacey Wygant will be your stage 1 winner. Quick look on what happened to put us under the yellow flag and end the opening stage here of the night. It went awry for Connor Morse as he comes out of turn numbers 3 and 4, lost control on the back straightaway. Car fishtailed, went around, got rear-ended by the 60, slid up the track, and somehow no one else hit him. Pacey Wygant winner of stage number 1. And we'll see if we can potentially talk to him once everything is locked in and confirmed. Confirmation received. The stage ended at the yellow flag, which means that yes, Pacey Wygen is the official winner of stage number 1. And Kevin Burke leads the way. He is the lone car that chose not to pit. Next stage will take us straight to the halfway point at lap 100. Green flag coming on out this time by Kevin Burke on 15-lap-old tires. Leads the way to the top shelf. Doesn't get going. Pelletier Sharp jumped the gun. And we'll see if that'll result in a penalty or not. Burke got a shot to the shorts entering turn number 1 by Bobby Blowers. Goes way to the outside. Up into the outside wall. And already Burke dumped out of the top 10 by the end of the first lap. Boy, tough break for him. That has not gone the way he wanted it to. And Byron Jones is into the infield grass. Byron Jones with the problem. Bobby Blowers out with the problem. Blowers sideways on the back straightaway. Dalton Kilrow sideways as well as he gets collected. And boy, that just did not go the way anybody wanted it to. Off that restart. So there's Byron Jones down to the inside, and then something happened to Dalton Kilrow up here. There's the Bobby Blowers. He got loose, snapped, and went hard into the outside wall. Kilrow straight into the back with him, big time into the inside fence to boot. He's going to slide up and may have taken out a couple when he did so. At speed here, watch that 34, unassisted. Got loose, hard into the wall. Kilrow goes down, he's gonna tank the fence. And there you saw the 89 of Connor Mars go for a big slide, and what a save for the driver of the 89. Right on board with Morse here. Oh boy. Just avoids Kilrow, then takes a ride of his own. So with all that said and done, Pacey Wygen, the official driver that is in control at the end of stage number 1. We'll bring your stage 1 winner to the broadcast booth, this time by Pacey. Noel Rempley here at the broadcast booth. Got a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Boy, what a way to win stage 1. I know most drivers like to prefer to win it on the track instead of under caution, but hey, stage win, stage win. Max points for you so far.
Yeah, I mean, the car feels great. It's all about track position. I think my restarts were really helping me. We're going to find out how it feels to not be on the front row, though, and control the restarts here.
Stage 2 coming to a close, about 59, 60 laps up the road here. What do you think your odds are on going back to back for the stages?
I mean, I think they're pretty good. Like I said, the car feels great tonight. A lot of confidence in it. And, hey, I might have some family out there supporting me, so I definitely feel like maybe not even just stage 2 in, but we might be able to get the whole thing.
Confidence is high then. We'll wish you the best of luck on the restart. Good luck.
Thank you.
Pacey Wygen, stage 1 winner this afternoon, did come under the yellow flag, but hey, the yellow flag that he was lucky enough to avoid. Green flag set to come out this time by. Green flag coming on out this time by Elena Pelletier-Sharp. Jumps on the loud pedal in the lead for the first time tonight. Green flag back in the air. Top 8 did not come down to pit road. Zachary Wareham trying to fend off Blaine Schneider. Is Blaine Schneider going to look for the outside line? Trying to go up top as we rocket through turns 1 and 2. No dice this time around. Oh, but Peyton Snyder around to the front straightaway. No caution. We'll keep it green. But just another problem for Peyton Snyder, unfortunately, on that front straightaway. Take a look. As the Hendrick car stops, car number 48 slides the tail end out. Good job to lock it down. It did not have a yellow. Oh, hello, Zachary Wareham with a big run on Blaine Snyder. Looks for the inside under return number 3. Trying to drive down to the bottom side of that that opening corner. Snyder going to respond with a tag to the back bumper as he get off of turn 2 to the back straightaway. So the field going to keep on keeping on. Single file all throughout the field. For really the first time all night long we've had this. Drivers potentially finally starting to settle into the rhythm of things. There goes Connor Morse. Opens up the door on Scott McCann. Makes a cut to the inside. This is on board with Martin Roberg. Driver to Cheshire, Connecticut as he looks to the inside. Trying to attack Scott McCann, who's up top above him. McCann running strong with that number 12. And Roberg gonna get him. Scott McCann, in fact, dropping back a few positions now as the driver of the body armor number 12 gonna lose all the way back to 13th, where he'll stop the bleeding. You get caught out of the groove by one car. Not difficult to get freight train all the way back through the field. That's why you always got to be on point at a track like Richmond. Quarter distance through, we got 50 down, 150 still to go. Track temps may very well be on the downturn as well. Well, actually not quite. The wind has died off a little bit, but while the track remains the same, the air temp is what has dipped here, so potentially lending a little bit more grip to this racetrack as well. Connor Morse trying to stay ahead of Lane Myers. And it's a similar situation just behind them for Martin Roberg and Chris Melton. And now for 7th, Bailey Thompson on the move, looking for to get around Connor Morse. So 2x2, 3 rows deep here. As the pack fires off the top shelf of turn 2 to the back straightaway, and now into 3. Bailey Thompson retains the run here on Connor Moore's. Oh boy, big slip of the grip there as they are going to fight their way down the front straightaway and into turn 1. So it's Thompson from Jones, Myers, Melton. Lane Myers as well, also still in the fray, trying to see if she has potentially got an answer for him. Oh, trouble around, gonna go. The 27 of Bailey Thompson, spins her around, and that puts us under the caution plate once again. And that will bring to a close the longest green flag run we've had so far all night. So once again, the caution flag is out. And this is why. Coming into turn number 1. A big look to the inside for the 19 of Byron Jones. Johnson covered off the run too late, and she's going to go for a slide. Good job on Lane Myers to avoid. As Johnson slides to a stop. Good job. Pacey Wygen and co. A lot of drivers into pit road. Top 2, Elena Pelletier-Sharp and Byron Jones staying out. Interesting call for the top 2 to stay out. We'll see if that is a decision that will bear fruit. For now, the caution flag is out once again. We're back in a moment with more on Green Flag TV.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Green Flag TV. Seconds away from return to the Green Flag Racing. 40 laps are left for the halfway point and the ending of stage number 2. And 140 to go for round number 3 of the Bolt Racing League's Lightning Series. Green flag back in the air this time by as the field takes off once again down to turn 1. And already looking for 3 wide. Wygen slides up hard into the wall for Martin Rober. Caution's going to have to come out immediately. Boy, talk about flying too close to the sun. We got another problem as Justin Johnson around on the back straightaway. Boy, tough break though. That was not ideal, putting it mildly. Wygen got a bit too greedy. No contact, just tried to clear himself and, well, lost control, slid up, got into the 60 car. They both went hard into the outside wall. And then along the road, the 33 car, completely unrelated, is actually going to get caught by Connor Morse. Morse spun her out of turn 2. Boy, that collected a few of them. The 99 goes into the wall. The 28 catches some damage. There was a lot of cars that got collected in all of this. Holy cow. That's speed. I'm a bit lost for words, if I'm being honest. I mean, there was just so much that happened there all at the same time. Right on board here with Roberg. Just never saw it coming in a pretty nasty hit up into the outside wall. Well, there goes one, and well, it was on from there. From up top, and we'll get a better look at the whole incident here from start to finish. They saw the 00, lost control by himself. That part's a fairly foregone conclusion here. Then Morse gets loose, collects Johnson, slides around. The 28 gets involved. The 99 loses control, trying to avoid all of this. And everyone else just has to kind of back it down and hope for the best. Well, we're going to look to go back to racing here before too long. Report, by the way, coming in from Bobby Blowers as to why he is no longer in this race. Apparently, the wheel was inverted and he money shifted because he forgot down was up. I would ask, my first question is, why was the wheel inverted? That's question one. Once you get that out of the way, I think fair enough. It's an easy mistake to make when a wheel's inverted, but I don't know. Maybe some people like inverted shifters. It's not uncommon. Oh, green flag coming out this time by. Back into the restart zone. Sharp on the loud pedal. We're green. Oh, now Sharp's going to get taken out for the lead. Blaine Snyder sending the 71 around. Oh, boy. Well, there's no ifs or buts about that one. Elena Pelletier Sharp just got sent by Blaine Snyder. Coming into turn one. Oh, sorry, this was the initial, that was the last caution still. Here we go. This will be the one. I mean, the 88 just goes in here full bore. Just takes her out. Good job on everyone else to get around her, but... Oh, and it looked like Scott McCann may have gotten up and into the outside wall as well. And he did, but it was because of some contact as well there with Bailey Thompson. Right on board here with Blaine Snyder, that number 88 car. I don't know what to say. I mean, you're responsible for the nose of your own car, right? And I mean, that's pretty cut and dry. Oh boy, they had a good green flag run. Jones takes the inside for the restart. Blaine Snyder up top. Oh, what is going on back here? Bit of confusion with the 42 car, looks like, trying to find a hole. That's the 42 of Joey Gevedon, who's going... What is going on here? Is he getting waved around? He is. All right, then. Well, Gevedon gets waved around. I'm sure he's not going to complain about it. That puts him only 31 laps down. Green flag back out into the air. If I'm Byron Jones, I'm watching that rearview mirror a little bit here. No contact this time for the lead through 1 and 2. Three wide off of turn 4. As Elena Pelletier Sharp caught in the middle of Justin Johnson into the 17 of Rodney Ayers. Sharp cranks that wheel back down to the bottom side. Pushes up in front of the 17. And we're going to quickly get things single filed back out this afternoon. Looking for 2 wide is Justin Johnson, fighting to the inside of Casey Ellis, as we're going to drive her in deep into turns 1 and 2. Peyton Snyder behind. Starting to have to fight it out with other drivers. Look at Bailey Thompson clearing for third up top. Pacey wide to the stage 1 winner. Trying to get a look on the bottom side. Not able to get the lunge. Bailey Thompson stays up in third. Peyton Snyder still staying to the inside. Caution comes out. For what? I'm not sure. Possibly Joey Gevedon. Looking like it may have been for Joey Gevedon here. Take a look. This is coming down into turn 1. It's all by himself. This would have had to have been a single car incident. Kind of misses the bottom, goes up wide into the top groove. And nicks the turn 2 wall. That's going to spear him right down to the inside of the racetrack. Well, no trouble behind him, and he's just going to bring it to a stop. And the yellow comes out. Interesting. This is on board with Gevedon. I mean, you saw the caution lights on the right-hand side. I'm going to not say anything on that. I feel like the camera angle kind of tells the story enough. Yeah, don't feel great about that one, if I'm being honest. Field set to go back to green flag racing here this time by. We have got just over 20 laps left in the stage. Green flag is out as we're into the restart zone, and the field once again taken off. This time, Byron Jones not getting a good launch. Blake Snyder trying to get a lunge around, looking for the outside into turn numbers 1 and 2. Snyder able to get a good run, but not able to get the crossover he needed down the back straightaway. Pacey Wadjum, meanwhile, right behind in the mad scramble for third, trying to get around Bailey Thompson. The 99 of Alex Ricky also scrapping it out with Zachary Wareham and co. How about that? New fastest lap of the race for Byron Jones, a 29.545. Puts him up to the head of the field. Meanwhile, Ricky still trying to battle to the inside of the Canadian. Wareham up to the top side. Clears down the front straightaway. Wareham in 7th. Ricky and Dave Johnson 9th. Melton closing out the top 10. And Melton right now, the driver that is in that bump spot for the final spot of points for stage 2. Question is, how desperate is Rodney Ayers to get a nose in there as well? Peyton Snyder and Bailey Thompson, meanwhile, will battle it out for 4th and 5th on the racetrack as Snyder looks to the inside of the racetrack. And the 48 car, a little bit of a twitch. Coming out of turn 2. And well, that twitch going to cost Bailey Thompson because all of a sudden, Elena Pelletier-Sharp has found momentum and looks to the inside of the racetrack. Down to the turns 1 and 2. Fighting for 5th, a big bobble as well as Thompson gets the tank slapper going. But the 71 of Sharp rallies back and drives away, coming down to the turn 3. So Wareham trying to scrap it out with Thompson and Ricky. Oh boy, that 95 car getting a little bit crossed up as we battle our way back into turn numbers 1 and 2 for the back straightaway. Approaching 10 to go in stage 1. 2. Still, Thompson finds herself side by side with the 99 and more. And still, we got that 27 car trying to fight it out now with Chris Melton. Remember, Thompson on some older rubber here. Oh, hello! Around gonna go Zachary Wareham. No caution, though. No caution. No caution. Keeping it green, but Wareham gonna be dropped out of the top 10. A quick check-in on what happened here to Zach Graham. Oh, just caught the apron. Can only blame himself for that one, and the 99 of Alex Ricky caught a piece. So the battle for 10th now between Lane Myers and Justin Johnson. The problem is Johnson's having to focus more on defense than he is on offense. So really the fight started to pick up for the stage win here, as Byron Jones trying to keep Blaine Snyder at bay. It's been a war of attrition so far tonight. 22 cars, started this race. Out of those 22, only 16 are left on the racetrack, and only 14 of those are on the lead lap. And now Blaine Snyder under fire is put to the wall. Trouble, the top two, both gonna go around. Caution is out. And huge dramas for the lead of the race as the top two take each other out. Holy cow. This stage coming to life here. Not sure if this will be the end of it. Byron Jones taken out by by Blaine Snyder. Just chased him all the way up the racetrack and put him to the wall, ruined both of their races. I don't know if the 19 got loose or what, but that could very well give Pacey White the stage 1 win, or the stage 2 win. And confirmed that was the stage. So everyone now going to be into pit road. Oh boy. And confirmation as well, Pacey Wadget, your winner in stage number 2. How about that? Well, we got some time under the yellow flag here, so while pit stops are currently underway, we're going to bring one of the drivers up into the broadcast booth that was caught up in some problems earlier on this afternoon. Martin Roberg, you were collected, of course, in that caution on lap 63. You were mentioning that things are good between you and Pacey. Did you have a talk about it after the fact, or are you just kind of, it is what it is?
I talked to him. He just got loose, which, I mean, even while the wreck was happening, I had a pretty good idea of what happened. I thought he was going to send it in, so I kind of backed up my entry a little to set up for a crossover. The whole reason for being up there on 2 tires was what I'd like to call calculated risk, as was setting up the braking zone, but unfortunately I suck at math, and here we are.
I mean, hey, there's a reason why I'm up here in the booth and not in the car. I thought I would have been able to do much better on crunching the risk numbers on that. But, I mean, it is what it is, right? It's short track racing. He's focused then just on next week and the weeks after that as well coming up?
Yeah, definitely. The last few weeks have been tough. Definitely have had speed, but unfortunately haven't even made it to the end of stage 2. But still looking decent points-wise, so just trying to think of the big picture. Yeah, it definitely sucks, but there's no point dwelling on it because the speed's there. I'm very confident that I'll still make the playoffs, and yeah, it's just kind of take what you can learn from it. Unfortunately, there's not too much to learn from this situation because there really wasn't much I could do, but just try to put it past me and hopefully have a better run at Chicago.
Well, the street circuit is just around the corner. We'll wish you the best of luck. Good luck out there when we go to the Windy City.
Thank you.
Martin Roberg, of course, out of this race, unfortunately, before the end of stage number 2. And halfway home, this next time by lap number 100, green flag is back out and in the air. As Pelletier Sharp runs away with her down to the turn numbers 1 and 2. Pelletier Sharp getting away well as the whole field came down to pit road that time by. While they may have all come down to pit road, the difference, Sharp's on old tires. She did not take any of that stuff. It was fuel only for her. So she is, oh, look out, heads up, Blaine Snyder around, collects Bailey Thompson. Cautions out again. And Blaine Snyder has caught another one. Talk about not having a good night for this number 88 car. I mean, just cannot get this thing settled. Lost it by himself. Overcorrected up the track. Gonna get into Bailey Thompson there with a hard lick. And Wareham, I think, caught a piece of it as well. And they both go sliding down the racetrack. Well, caution flag is out once again. First time in stage number 2. We'll be back in a moment on Green Flag TV. Green flag coming out this time by. Welcome back to the Richmond Raceway as stage number 3. Second attempt on getting a green flag run in here in the back half of this race for the third round of the Boat Racing League and the Lightning Series. 2, looking for 3 as we work around into turn numbers 3 and 4. Oh, the number 33 car of Justin Johnson down low on the racetrack. Squeezed in there by the 9-9 of Alex Ricky. Ricky now being helped around. He's going to miss pit road. Trying to get down there to serve a black flag. Couldn't do so. Blaine Snyder still with the black flag hanging over his head. Same story for Scott McCann. All the while, the fight for second is on. The 17 of Rodney Ayers on the backslide here. Dramas after dramas after dramas. Snyder not serving that black flag, might be trying to plead his case. Ricky going to be forced into pit road, trying to come in that last time by. Did not get the opportunities. He got run over on the approach. And now all black flags have been cleared. For Ricky, too little, too late. Elena Pelletier-Sharp continuing to lead the way this afternoon. Pacey Wygant picks up the number 2 spot. Peyton Snyder in 3rd. Wareham 4th. Ayers back in 5th. Johnson in 6th. And then it's a mad scramble for about 7th on back. 90 laps to go this time by. Remember, Sharp believe on 2 tires as opposed to the 4 that the rest of the field is on. Which is why Pacey Wygant has been able to keep her very, very honest throughout the opening stages of this 3rd run. Goes for the send into turn 3, trying to get the bumper. Couldn't quite get there. Now makes the look for the inside. Gonna go for the send. The 42 car thought might be used as a pick there for a moment. But they'll remain double file, coming down the back straightaway, back down to the turn number 3. Pacey Wygant gonna go for a slide. Sharp looking for the inside line as well. Back down to the turn 1. Let the crossover city begin. Sharp tracking up out of turn 2. Double file down the back straightaway. Wygant unable to clear contact as they enter turn number 4. Pacey Wygant maintains his run up top. Sharp keeping him honest down low. Right behind Peyton Snyder, Wareham and Johnson. Watch on eagerly. There's blood in the water. Wygant this time clears Sharp into turn number 3. Same could not be said of the battle for 3rd here as the 99 car of Alex Ricky, having to come down pit road, is now caught up in the fray. Boy, what a fight these guys had there for a little while. As the top 2 are starting to build up that gap. Sharp is not letting Wygant go either. Sharp could very well be able to run down that 00 entry. Still remains within 0.2 of a second. Very much within striking distance if something happens here. We'll check back up on that if it gets any closer. For now, Lane Myers has pulled a send on Bailey Thompson. Thompson going to go for the over-under. Looking to get him back into turn 1. And Thompson going to do just that. Slides across the nose, and thought we might see another crossover attempt, but Lane Myers keeps his car pointed in the right direction. Meanwhile, Justin Johnson, Zachary Wareham, Rodney Ayers under a blanket, as well as the top 2, but here comes Alex Ricky trying to play spoiler with fresh rubber. This fight for the lead is going to get real interesting here in a while because that 99 Dr. Pepper Mustang wants to go. He's on fresh rubber. He's got the pace to get around him. But how do you do it cleanly? You don't want to be the guy that disrupts the battle for the lead by taking one of them out. Boy, it's such a dilemma if you're a guy like Alex Ricky. I mean, where are you supposed to go in a situation like this? I mean, you got them kind of piled up. Just gotta go for when you see a door that opens up like it does there. Again, nearly wiping out Elena Pelletier-Sharp. Behind them, Dalton Kilwer and Bailey Thompson out side by side. Both of those cars very much a pair of wounded birds. Caught up in a couple of incidents with both of them so far, as Kilroe and Thompson trying to make tracks, while behind them Scott McCann throwing his hat into the ring. So a three-way battle here for 11th. So Kilroe, McCann, and Thompson going to continue to slice and dice amongst one another. And Scott McCann, with some of the fresher rubber here in a less damaged race car, will be able to finally get up and around Dalton Kilroe. Kilroe with a long way to go, and I have a feeling that number 41 not going to be in victory lane like it was last week at the Echo Park Speedway. Sharp being a bit held up here now as Ricky tries to get through. Now, granted, Ricky is being held up in his own right, and I'm sure Ricky's getting a bit frustrated, but I mean, you know, Sharp's in that battle for the lead. I can understand not being very inclined to want to move up and out of the way. And she's not letting him go either. She is very much taking a line that compromises him, but now he's going to put the bumper to her, and Ricky spins out the second place runner. Down to the inside, caution is out. And that is yet another controversy. I said at the top of the broadcast, hoping we might be able to avoid a track kind of known for its controversies. And then we've got like, what, 3 or 4 of them now at this point. Pacey Wygent going to lead the way, and critically, that's going to cost Ricky the lucky dog as well, because Ricky was the cause of the caution. So he's not going to be eligible for a Lucky Dog free pass. He's going to have to stay out. Take a look back here. As he just gets into the back bumper, spins that 99 up and around. And Sharp going to slide to the inside. Tell you what, does a great job to keep it off the wall. Only just, though. Pit stop's underway. I'd be surprised if we had anything other than 4 tires and fuel here with 74 laps still left to run. That beat about our second longest green flag run we've had all race. How about that? Blaine Schneider taking 2, and he's going to beat Pacey Wygent out of pit road. Unique strategy call there for Blaine. I want to get another look at this one. This is on board with Alex Ricky. I mean, just runs her over. Not much more to say. And then this is on board with Sharp and what she saw. I mean, if you're going to spin around, that is about as good of a wreck as you could hope for. Very, very minimal damage for Sharp. I'm sure she's frustrated. But we'll see how this one's going to pan out. Drivers select their lanes. Blaine Schneider opting for the inside as Pacey Wygent will be up top. Justin Johnson in third, Wareham in fourth. While Schneider and Melton run fifth and sixth. Green flag is up in the air this time by. Blaine Snyder getting away well in the turn number 1. Pacey Wygant and Justin Johnson trying to scrap it out for second place here. Wygant going to maintain the momentum up high. And Johnson going to give it up. So Blaine Snyder, Pacey Wygant, Zachary Wareham, Justin Johnson, and Peyton Snyder all leading the way for the top 5. Caution flag is going to come out. And this one looks to be for Casey Ellis, who has had a slide on the front straightaway. Coming around in the turn number 3. Has he had help? He's got the 28 charging on the bottom. That's Lane Myers. Nope, no help. Lost that all by himself. As Ellis going to spin into the infield grass. Upset some grounds crew, I'm sure. But other than that, no harm, no foul. More cars into pit road. Dalton Kilroe, Scott McCann, Bailey Thompson, and Casey Ellis. Ellis, the one of no surprise here. Meanwhile, Kilroe, McCann, going to go for 4 tires, and I'd imagine get some damages repaired while they can. Another quick sit rep on the field. 22 cars started this race. 16 remain. 14 on the lead lap. As we approach the final quarter of this race. Well, Blaine Snyder going to continue to work his way up and around down the back straightaway as the 88, the 00, the 95, and the 33 going to be the top 4. And we'll look for the choose this time around. You don't see many leagues that have a choose cone rule. I kind of like it. Get something new coming in here. 1 up, down, up, 2 going down. Hello, Pelletier Sharp going to the inside. Couple gonna jump up top to take advantage of that. And how about that? A bunch of cars going to the outside as Gevedon, Ellis, Melton all to the outside in a row. Green flag comes out this time by as the pack drives away towards turn number 1. Blaine Snyder, not as good of a launch. Pacey Wygant trying to attack up top. No drive, though, out of turn number 2. How about the inside of the 3? A big launch with the 00. Screaming to the inside of Blaine Snyder. Pacey Wygant to the front with 63 to go. Wygant, Snyder, Johnson, Wareham, and the other Snyder still within the top 5. Blaine trying to get up and around Pacey. Justin Johnson looking to the inside of that number 88 car. No dice this time through. Remember, Blaine Schneider only took 2 tires on that pit stop about 12 laps ago. Everyone else around him took 4. Oh, he might have been given a hit. He is being given a hit. Justin Johnson flashed down. That saved the 88 car from a bump and run. Justin Johnson all over the tail end of Blaine Schneider, looking to the inside. Trying to put that 88 car at bay as he works off of turn number 4, side by side. Up top, nothing doing. Blaine might be able to get him there, you know. I think you might just have him. No, not quite. Justin Johnson still fighting that fight down to the inside. Blaine Schneider really playing a lion defensive game. And now almost into the outside wall goes the 88 car as Blaine Schneider still trying to fire this one up and around. Justin Johnson, can he clear off of 4? No, he can't. Blaine's still fighting this one in around the top side. For a guy on a 2-tire disadvantage, I mean, this is just a real slugfest these guys are having. Finally, Justin Johnson clears. But if that's how much it took to get him for a second, imagine how hard of a time Wareham and co behind are going to have trying to get him off of the podium. Behind them, Chris Melton and Lane Myers going to look for 1 and 2. And as I say that, well, that didn't take long for Zachary Wareham to start getting elbows up here, as he's going to look to the inside of Blaine Schneider. Oh, slides up the racetrack, almost into the door of the 88 car. Will not be the first time the 88 has found the fence out of turn 4. And now the freight train begins. Peyton Snyder looks to the inside of Blaine as the brothers are set to duke it out. Whoa, boy, and there goes Pelletier Sharp. Giving a big shot to the shorts of the 88, expressing potentially some displeasure for earlier in this race. That's going to put Elena Pelletier Sharp back up into 5th. Myers, McCann run 9th and 10th up the road. Fight for the lead, not going to happen. Sharp has been spun in turn 4. She's got the 88 car behind her. Blaine Snyder sends it in, wipes her out. That's about the 3rd time this race that these two drivers have gotten into each other. Oh, Rodney Ayers just caught her at the tail end. You know, 3rd time they've gotten into each other. I mean, this has started to become quite a real feud that these two have got. I mean, there was no mercy shown there from the 88 car. That is about as clear as it can get. Trying to get a look on board the 88 car here. Sorry, here we go. Blaine Snyder on board with him. Just center. Well, we got this caution flag again. Peyton Schneider taking 2 tires, and I'm gonna welcome a good friend of the channel here, the man that helped me out with the season opener of this series, Derek Watson, guest commentator, stepping into the back quarter of this race. Derek, for about the 4th caution in a row, we've seen a driver take only 2 tires. and go to the lead under caution here. What do you make of it?
Oh, boy, I mean, you know, from working with me, I'm not always a fan of 2 tires. It just unsettles the car. It's not predictable. I'm a fan of predictability, but as we've seen all night long, you know, track position has been key here. And watch that battle he just had, the 88 and with others. So that's why we're doing it. We're doing it to get the track position here. But boy, you made a point to say, you know, how Sharp really has been kind of the person getting spun the most. But what I think is not helping Sharp, just to be honest with you, is every time they get spun, Nolan, there's a little bit of chatter on the radio with the other drivers. And I'm not saying that justifies what's happening, but boy, when you keep speaking up and you kind of keep poking the bear, it kind of entices drivers to maybe just, you know, be a little more annoyed with you, I think.
Well, and the third time that she's made contact as well with Blaine Schneider up the road this race alone. I mean, you get the feel. I mean, to be fair, Blaine Schneider's had his fair share of run-ins with quite a few drivers. So I feel like this is one of those things, but that might escalate even further before this race is out. But
and that wreck there was kind of a quintessential Richmond wreck, right? I mean, that moment there of a car digging into the bottom, kind of sliding up and tapping the rear bumper, that's Richmond in a nutshell. Like, if you wanted to like give like a Merriam-Webster dictionary of Richmond, that was kind of it. That was nothing egregious. It was nothing. It's annoying if you're Sharp, I get that, but I mean, it wasn't. You know, you and I have both seen much worse wrecks and bad decision making at Richmond than that move.
Well, Peyton Snyder takes the 2-tire stop here. About the 3rd or 4th restart in a row that someone has tried it. And hey, if you're able to defend it, which people have been able to defend it, why not try it? Peyton Snyder leads the way, clear by 2 into turn number 1.
Yeah, big jump over the outside car in Wygent. That's a big jump. Now Wygent's trying to get back around here. Oh, spinning it back. Hold on. Caution.
Justin Johnson, the Mach 5, number 33, going to get turned.
That's a slow, I mean, a slow spin in some turns. Felt like it took forever for that car to get turned around, didn't it?
It really did. That took a little while to manifest there, but he is going to unfortunately find the inside wall. We'll take a look back here. Check out what happened to Justin Johnson.
Yeah, once again, feels like we just talked about this. Didn't we? A car. Oh no, actually I thought we was going to a car getting on the bottom, but no, that's just Johnson getting a little wiggly out of the corner. Then does get the back end of the 80 from the 88, but I mean at that point I don't know where the 88 was supposed to go. I mean that car's wiggling. You know, he's just trying to run his race.
Yeah, nothing that Blaine Schneider did wrong with that one for sure. Just left with nowhere really to go. So Blaine Schneider and Justin Johnson both in the pit road to fix up the damage of those race cars. As the 33 car is going to go to the inside wall. I don't like seeing that Mach 5 number 33 get torn up like that. Did you ever check out the Speed Racer franchise? Is that ever your thing?
Oh yeah, yep, 100%, yep, absolutely. But I will say though, I will say though, if you're going to be the 33 and you're going to hit a corner of the car against that wall, that was probably the right one. Right? If you hit the front ends, there's a lot of damage you can do to these next-gen vehicles, these Gen 7 cars. By hitting the back end, you're probably going to throw off the speed a little bit, maybe throw off the handling, but at least it's, you know, minimal damage compared to what could have happened on the front end.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, again, like so many wrecks tonight, could have been far worse, and I think these drivers have been doing a great job of being able to mitigate the damage so far. It's been a war of attrition, but not really any kind of really big wrecks. I think we've only actually had one crash that's had more than 2 or 3 cars collected in it, and that was way back around the halfway point. A lot of the crashes tonight have just been 1 or 2 drivers mostly just getting loose and going into a wall somewhere.
Yeah, and that's Richmond, right? This is a track that a lot of drivers will complain about how loose, how snappy these setups are, especially out of the corners. You really cannot get too excited on the gas pedal, especially out of 4 here with that car wanting to wiggle. The back end, as you saw there, and the back straight, I should say, is the same. You get on the gas pedal and the car just gets a little happy. This is a little dancing in the back end. It's a little bit of a happy dog wiggle. But yeah, that can happen here. So we're going to line up again here. Still about, almost 50-ish laps to go, a little less than that now. We see the track temp pretty much consistent here. It's about 10 o'clock virtual sim time. I'm a little surprised by the lack of variance, honestly.
I mean, the air temp has been all over the place. It started at around 80. That's down to about 74 now. But yeah, the track temp only has lost about 4 degrees of Fahrenheit. throughout this whole race, it's been a bit of a shock to see so little variance. It's not something you're used to seeing when you get these day-to-night races, but I think it's been good because that means the track's been a very consistent temp for the drivers to try and navigate. Green flag is coming back on the air. Payne Snyder, once again, on the loud pedal.
Yeah, great jump again by Snyder. And this is why you take 2 tires, right? This is what our second restart now that he's been able to start up in front because of that track positioning, and that it's going to be a great move here. We come back to that point, though. I think why I'm surprised by the air temp and maybe why some of the drivers are surprised is typically as the temp drops, this track would find more grip and those kind of wiggles out of the, oh my gosh, the corners we're seeing would calm down, but that was a massive hit to that wall.
Yeah, Rodney Ayers with a bit of a slap there into the fence as he's going to have to fight it out with Blaine Snyder now. Scott McCann, Justin Johnson, the 23 car all in the mix here. Oh, look out, the 88 car's deep. He's going to get into McCann, pushing the 12 car up the racetrack towards turn 4, and going to cut off Lane Myers at the 28 in the process.
Wow, that was a pretty tight, I mean, basically what an offset 3-wide kind of move right there. We're seeing Snyder now on those 2 tires. I was skeptical, but boy, the fastest lap is now at 88. Slaps the wall.
Well, and again, I mean, hey, the 2-tire stop, it doesn't have to work, but if it does, no reason not to do it. I mean, it's one of those cases where, you know, I'd be skeptical for this time, but this is a strategy that's been tried and tested, and it's been working out for people. So, I mean, heck, no complaints.
Yeah, no, agree. If it works, it works. Boy, more drivers continue to slap that wall. I think that's Johnson right there in that black or that white car, pardon me, that hit the wall there. That 33, the mock car we just saw turned around a moment ago, but eventually, now I said earlier, hitting the back end of the wall, a car in the wall might be the better idea, but they keep scrubbing the wall that hard. It's not going to matter what corner of the car you hit. You're going to do some damage. You're going to lose some speed. You're going to upset this car.
And then, of course, you have drivers like Martin Roberg who kind of backed it into the wall, but a little bit more aggressively than they might have liked, and it was enough to kind of take them out of the race. Of course, that was an incident earlier on with Pacey White, and the 2 drivers, of course, have made up since then. They had a bit of a talk, kind of explain, you know, what happened where, and you know, Martin's not upset about it. He's like, it is what it is. Not a lot to learn from it, because I mean, he was quite literally as innocent of a bystander as could be. Never saw it coming in. But he's focusing up on the next race, right? I mean, hey, it's Chicago. It's the Chicago street course, right? You got to have your focus up for a track like that.
Oh, yeah. It'll be a very interesting race next week here, next Friday night, to see what happens. Likely no cautions. Very little cautions happen typically in oval leagues that go to road courses. So we'll have the stage breaks, but probably no cautions for cause. So I suspect if you take a picture of who's been at the top of the boards the past couple weeks in ovals that when compared to next week, you'll see some new names. You'll see some exciting moments next week. You'll see some tough battles, and you'll see some drivers struggle next week. Maybe ones that were used to succeeding will have a hard time at that Chicago street course.
Battle for 4 starting to pick up here. And how about Alex Ricky? He was about 2 laps down, about, what, 50 laps ago. All the caution, though, have helped him to get back onto the lead lap. Now, here's the problem with that. One of those cautions in the middle of that came from turning Pelletier Sharp for a second when he was a lap down. So don't expect Sharp to be doing that 99 car a whole lot of favors here in this fight.
No, and there was a lot of chatter back and forth between the 2 drivers when that happened. And Sharp just kind of saying, hey, listen, I know you're racing for a lucky dog, but that was unnecessary. You didn't have to, the phrase I think kept getting used, you didn't have to spin the lapped car, or the lead lap car, pardon me. So I'm not, maybe, honestly, the best outcome we can hope for right there was that the Dr. Pepper car just got out of the way and let Sharp go. That could have been a tough battle between these 2 drivers.
Yeah, so Sharp's going to be able to drive away with it now from Ricky. She'll keep making tracks up towards the end of the field. She is steadily running down Zachary Wareham as well here. So this could end up being quite the fight between these 2 coming on up here.
Yeah, this could be a great battle, and not to jinx it, want to sort of knock on wood by having around here, but a good green flag run is what we're seeing right here now. 3rd and 4th, Wareham and Sharp. This is Wareham, the blue car on your screen, the 95, and see that gap there, still about a second. And of course, Wareham also trying to run down Pygent, so Wareham right now, at least in a good spot right here at a track that's tough to pass at. I mean, even if Sharp gets there, getting there and passing Wareham, maybe 2 separate conversations.
Now, she's about a 1/10 of a lap quicker, so at this rate, she'll definitely be able to catch him well before the end of this race. One driver that has been caught, Justin Johnson, As Blaine Snyder trying to fight to the inside and looking to be put down a little bit more. There goes Scott McCann as well, just in the background trying to find a way through.
Yeah, that's a good move right here, side by side, and a blinking of a connection problem will make that awkward for a moment. The 88's going to get around. They're going to use that, I think that momentum from the outside turn here and kind of get on the gas pedal a little sooner, a little bit more stable, and probably be good here. That mock car is trying, and I thought the 88 was going to scrub the wall again.
Blaine Snyder going to, oh, look out, hold on. Justin Johnson way overshot the breaking point, nearly cleaned out Blaine. And Scott McCann going to pull up across the nose of number 12. Now John's going to send McCann into turn number 3. McCann up into the outside wall.
Well, McCann up there. We're going to stay green. This will be a slow car, so we'll wait and make sure everyone gets on by. I think they're going to, so we'll stay green here. Now less than 30 laps to go at Richmond. This will go by fast. Remember, about 22 seconds a lap, so essentially 3 laps a minute. We're basically 10 minutes away from being done. Watch this replay here from this mock car up close to the 88. This is Justin Johnson.
So this...
And all looks good. It's going to slide up in the next corner, I think it is, right?
Yeah, this was the initial incident of trying to get around Blaine Snyder. I think just kind of locked up the right front going in there.
A little too zealous. Maybe got on the brake a little late and just, you know.
Oh. Okay, so that little shift, that little moment there with McCann where he kind of backed up into him, that was because he got on the clutch to shift the car up a gear. So the car kind of dies on its momentum, and when you're that close, you're going to be giving a shot to the shorts, and I'm going to bet that completely screwed Justin Johnson's timing entering turn 3.
Oh, 100%. Anytime you get a new car in front of you who you've not raced around that much, or at least in a few laps, their braking points are a bit of a mystery. Here they is now, again, that's Johnson to the outside. But anytime you get a car around who you've not raced with lately, their braking points are a mystery, when they're going to lift, when they're going to do this. And so at a track like this, at a track like Richmond, those things matter. I was thinking in the back of my head, though, I don't think that was an intentional bump and run, Nolan, but of the bump and run attempts you and I have seen in iRacing, that was probably could have been one of the cleaner bump and run attempts you and I have seen in iRacing.
Yeah, definitely no intent behind it. I mean, it looks bad from the outside, but when you kind of put the factor about how quickly you have to react to the things, and if it's time it would have been screwed up by that initial hit, yeah, it's just too many factors that Justin Johnson's got working in his favor there. Here you see Lane Myers and Scott McCann trying to get back to him. In fact, Lane Myers is going to look to the inside, and that's going to put Johnson on the back foot entering turn 1.
Boy, that's beautiful side-by-side racing. I mean, I guess if you're the mock car, you feel otherwise because he just feels he's getting past time and time again. Here comes 12. Now they're almost 3 wide as the 12 almost leans up on Johnson. They are 3 wide.
3 abreast. Lane Myers overshot turn 3. Had some contact with Johnson on the way in. Johnson going to lift from the middle.
There's something wrong with that car, I think. I don't know if it's just driver confidence, if it's just the number of wall hits tonight, if it's that back end damage, but there's something off about that car. I mean, look at he's just losing speed, just losing spots. It just, I know he backed out of the 3 wide there, Nolan, but that's not normal to fall that far back at Richmond.
Not so quickly unless, like you say, you got some pretty big damage, whether it be psychological, physical, or otherwise. So we'll keep tabs on Justin Johnson, see if he slips back much further. Alex Ricky, I feel like he might be starting to take the fight back to Lane Pelletier sharp as this fight for 4th started to close back in. Well,
now it's really go time. Now we're 20 laps to go. Now we're really starting to tick in here. Oh, there's a good bump and run. That might have been our new best candidate for best bump and run of the night right there. That was just a little boop to the back bumper. And on goes by that black car on the bottom. And good move. We see there that we had a car on pit road. Probably as a last minute. Probably miscalculated fuel, I'm guessing. We'll wait and see.
That'll be Joey Geveden, who is in for service. Geveden, of course, 38 laps down. So very much just, in fact, Geveden will not be able to improve much more than that. So I would not be surprised if Geveden does not come back out on the racetrack.
Yeah.
38 laps down, 19 to go. Yeah, you're not making up any more spots than what you got right now. So I think he's kind of called it quits. I mean, I understand. I mean, there's not, I hate to be blunt about it, right? But there's not much point in running out there if you can't gain anything more, right?
No, I mean, it depends on the driver mentality, right? Some drivers want to do it just to say they finished, just to say they, what can you learn for next time, right? What can you learn for the next time that this league or any league or an official race goes here is the reason for some to do it. Some people feel that way. Hey, I can't gain anything. I'm done. Let me stay out of the way. Some people, just want to get that seat time. And that's something I always believe in. I talk with new drivers all the time about seat time is so important. In any kind of car, any kind of track, the more laps you turn, the more you learn. But boy, look at this race quickly moving on. There's Dalton Kilrow in the 41. He's moving on around. Kilrow, of course, running back in P9. Last week's winner, you hinted at that. Likely not to be this week's winner.
Could very well get 8th place, though, as he has been steadily running down Blaine Snyder for the 8th place spot. And in fact, out of the last 3 or 4 laps, that last lap was the first one he was slower, but it was only by 14 thousandths. He gained a good 10th and a half the last time by, and we've got problems. Casey Ellis has taken a toe to pit road. He's had a big issue somewhere.
Yeah, he certainly did. He was just on track fighting with Bailey Thompson a moment ago, and fighting in a good way. Let's watch this replay and see what happens in this bright green machine. And no good is there. Just
whoa.
That looks almost, that could have been a snap out of the corner, but I bet if we look in the cockpit, that feels more hardware failure than anything. That just, well, watch the wheel, man. It's cranked to the left here.
And
no, it turns to the left.
I think it's screen went black. Probably.
Either that, or we come back to that conversation of when you're done, you're done. It was one of those two things, because that was that car didn't snap at all. That car just kept pointing to the left. So it may have been a blank screen or a black screen.
I feel like it would have had to have been a black screen. I don't see any point.
I'm saying it could have been. It could have been like a forfeit. It could have been a hey,
He was on the lead lap. I don't understand why
that's
you
fair.
would do
No,
that.
you're right. No, you're exactly right. Yeah, you're right. And he has disconnected, by the way.
Yeah, so that feels like a hardware feeling to me. And in that case, yeah, turning to the left is usually a good opportunity because you're on the front straightaway. Just turn it left, hit the brakes. As soon as you hit the wall, okay, you're safe now. You can stop and get it off the track.
And also, typically, most wheels in sim racing, your Logitech wheels, I think your Thrustmaster wheels, I think even Fanatec wheels, if they disconnect mid-race, your inputs throw themselves along. Hold on, caution's out with 11 to go. And Justin Johnson is not happy. Justin Johnson, Peyton Snyder, I believe.
There is Justin Johnson. And Bailey Thompson's got a black flag as well. That's why I thought maybe he has a hand in this.
I heard Johnson and Snyder, Peyton Snyder, on the radio. Let's wait and see what happens here.
Oh!
On the bottom.
Well, I think I know why Bailey Johnson got the black flag. That is wall right if ever I did.
Oh, no.
Oh, my gosh.
What are you doing?
I
mean, that was in slow-mo right there, but...
Okay.
That looked like you were trying to block that in slow-mo. Hold on, hold the brakes. Okay, we're good.
Okay.
At least in slow-mo, that looks like you're trying to block a run. I'd love to see it in full speed.
Well,
what comes of it?
It kind of does, but I mean, you see that 27 blatantly wall riding as well. I'd have to consult.
Trying to make a point.
Well, I would have to consult the rule book to see if that's even allowed. But given that he's been given a manually given black flag, I'd have to assume it's not.
But I mean, I get that, but did Justin Johnson decide, quote unquote, take the law in his own hands? I don't get it.
Possibly. I've talked to Bailey.
Here we are, final pit stops of the night. I didn't think we'd have this happen, to be honest with you, Nolan. I thought we were probably done with pit stops. Here's the 48. Remember, 2 tires last time. Right side's up, right side's down, low. That's it. Oh, and Wygent did the same thing, I believe.
How about that?
That's going to be a close to see who actually touched the line. Is it going to be?
I think it's going to be Peyton Snyder, yeah. Top 3 all took, they all took fuel only. I want to get a look back, and this is going to be about a lap or 2 leading up to this. This is on board with Bailey Thompson here. That's Justin Johnson up the road. So
Bailey Thompson up, riding a high lane, not unusual.
Yeah,
at Richmond, maybe preferred for some drivers.
Yeah, Lee go through 1 and 2 there. That's perfectly fine. And I mean, there's no excuse for that. I mean, that is.
I'm with you.
Try to slow down.
I'm with you.
Like,
I'm with you that move's not okay. Like
So-
that feels
well, here's
wrong,
the thing.
but
I just checked the rule book. I can't find a rule against it in there.
I mean, that may be one of those common sense things, right? Like,
You're
hey,
not
like
wrong.
you can't do that. But I'm more confused by the Justin Johnson move. That's where I'm stuck. I mean, I get you want to make a point of, hey, that's not okay, but you sort of did it at the expense of your race car. I don't know.
There's two arguments I have here for that. The first one being, obviously, like you say, trying to make a point. The second one, with how it was so like left front to right rear, he might not have gotten the call until it was already there.
Maybe, but that felt like a pretty pointed track out. That didn't feel like a, I don't know. I don't want to cast aspersions. You may be right, I may be wrong, but typically track outs don't happen that suddenly. But you're right, with the speed disparity of that wall move, you may be right. It may have just been he sort of quote unquote snuck up on him.
It's worth noting as well that Bailey Thompson did slow down before they made contact as well. So maybe some awareness going on he may be doing to try to get close. And Bailey and Justin didn't like it all that much, but green flag's coming out, 6 laps to go. By the way, confirmation on Casey Ellis. It was a RAM crash on his computer for him.
Oh no.
So
That could be really bad. You know what happens there. That's not good. It's
hold on.
hello. There's a move to the bottom. That's the 95. The 3 wide here as we're about 5 laps to go. And the 95 to clear 2 cars.
Zachary Wareham getting elbows up here as Sharp trying to make a lunge. Remember, Sharp, one of the drivers on 2 tires, not doing well in the route. Gonna go the 99. Slides around. Caution comes out. Great save though from Ricky, and we're not done yet.
No, the 88 got loose and then made it worse. Boy, that was, I thought, could have been a non-caution. Obviously, iRacing saw the car sideways on the track and wanted to, get that call. But watch it here. So it's going to happen right here in front of Sharp.
What even happened?
That black car. He's just going to get sideways. I think he's got in there a little hot. Probably stabbed the brakes a little too hard. And around goes the Dr. Pepper car. Unfortunately, in front of the field. That's very understandably a caution. You kind of wish it wasn't with where we are in the race, because now we're going to be in overtime. But that makes sense.
Great save, though, from Alex Ricky, right? That could have been a far worse incident than it was. Take it right on board and lost it right away. And downshift didn't help. And quick twitch out. Gathers it up, though.
The downshift probably made it worse, to be honest with you. I know that's kind of a common reaction you have in a race car, is to get down in the gear, but when you're already kind of sideways, that downshift isn't going to help at all.
So Derek, this will be our first attempt at overtime here this afternoon for Richmond.
Yeah, our first attempt, I believe, of 2, if I recall correctly, for the Bolt Racing League.
I think you're right.
I think I'm right. So right now, I think if you're Peyton Snyder, that grin is getting bigger and bigger, because we've seen how great of a restart you're able to get here with the front car. And we'll see what happens. So right now, it's going to be Snyder, Wygant, Wareham, Sharp, and Chris Melton, your top 5.
Peyton Snyder, does he go high or low? He's going to go low. And that's because we haven't gotten the call to go 1 to green yet. Okay, so. But I tell you what, this is an interesting call, right? And I've seen very mixed reactions to the higher-low call. I know Cole Freilich over in Ole Miss Sorrel at the Iowa Speedway often like to pick the outside lane for the restarts, because if you can get clear of the field, you can get a much faster arcing run through turn 1. Same principle here this afternoon. But the thing is, that relies on you being able to get clear into turn 1.
Well, the other problem with picking the outside here is that the way this iRacing restart system works for the front car is you have to maintain a pace speed when you're first and second place. And if you get caught breaking that speed before the flag, you get tagged. And so, unfortunately, the system is the pace speed. So the outside car doesn't get to go any faster, even though the outside is a little bit longer of a distance around the track, right? So you pick the inside here because it's almost impossible for the outside car to have pace with you when the green flag falls. If you go to the outside as Snyder, you're basically kind of giving Wygant a chance to be even up on the green flag.
A little bit aggressive there as well, and going for that lane change. Actually sped up past the pace car by a couple of car lengths there.
Sorry, just got confirmation from race control at Rodney Ayers. First of 3.
First of 3. Okay, there we go. So many leagues have 2 nowadays.
Yeah.
Well, first of 3. We'll see if it'll be the only one. Green flag back in the air this time by 2 laps to go, and Peyton Snyder's on the loud pedal and going.
There's that jump we talked about. Did a great job up in front of Wygent. Wygent now is trying to hold off 2 cars. There's Wareham and Sharp for 3rd and 4th.
Coming back around. 1 lap to go, this time by the line. Pacey Wygent trying to see if he's got an answer for Peyton Snyder this time around. White flag, 1 lap to go in Richmond.
There it is. This is official, and looks like this is going to be Snyder's race. Wygent will get probably 1 more shot. There's Wareham down in the grass, not going to affect anything. A round out of 1 and 2. And right now, this sets Wygent to maybe get 1 last dive bomb out, but I think it's too far back.
Trying to go for the lunge, all the same. Gonna push up for the bottom, not gonna get there. Peyton Snyder wins at the Richmond Raceway, and Pacey Wygent has to block Sharp at the line to keep her at bay.
There you go. Great win for Peyton Snyder.
And how about that? Fastest lap of the race while you're at it. No better way to convince the field that, yep, nope, I deserve this one.
Yeah, it's a great way. Great call and 2-tire call. Made the right decision, and just been walked away with for the last 50 laps or so.
And with that, Peyton Snyder becomes the 3rd different race winner this season with Bull Racing League and their Lightning Series. And he'll burn it down to the front straightaway here at the action track.
Wow, beautiful burnout, Scott, down there. Just hope to not hit the wall. Oh, boy.
And well, with that, we'll look set to take a run down of your official post-race results here this afternoon. It was a pretty wild race, all things considered, and a lot to digest from the administration here after tonight. It is Peyton Snyder taking home the race win in overtime. Ahead of Pacey Wygent, Elena Pelletier-Sharp brings home in 3rd. Scott McCann in 4th. From there, it's Melton in 5th. Schneider in 6th, with Myers, Johnson, Ayers, and Kilroe to close out the top 10.
Going to move back into P11. We're going to find Alex Ritchie with Zachary Wareham, who's in the grass. That's the last car on the lead lap. Then 11 laps back is Byron Jones with Bailey Thompson on back in P14. And it's Casey Ellis, Joey Gebedon, Connor Horse, Martin Robert, Bobby Blowers, and Kevin Burke rounding out your top 20.
From there, Tristan Bayer brings it home in 21st place alongside Matt Bryant. Then, of course, cars that did not start this race. Chris Chiambolis, Mark Frimpong, Aaron Lester, and George Chiambolis. Would have been a 26-car field. It ended up being 22 this afternoon. Now, with all that said and done, I think it's about high time to take a rundown and give a chit-chat here to all the drivers that come home at the end of a long night of racing. And we'll look to talk first and foremost with none other than Peyton Snyder here at the head of the field, as we will bring that driver of the number 48 car up into the broadcast booth. Peyton, a wild race here this afternoon. You are the 3rd different driver to take home the win with the Lightning Series here for the Bolt Racing League. Talk us through your afternoon on what was a bit of a caution-filled race.
Yeah, definitely caution-filled race. I mean, the cars were definitely edgy, so it was definitely a handling race for sure. Definitely racing the track, not so much the others around you, even though everyone was kind of getting in. It was kind of chaos there in the beginning, but yeah, I just kind of minded my P's and Q's. I almost wrecked the car twice in the very beginning, and I said, all right, I'm done. I'm just going to ride around for a little bit, feel this thing out. I noticed 2 tires was working, so with 50 to go there, I was like, well, I guess I'll take 2 and try to take control here. And I thought it was going to go green there until that spooky yellow came out there. Don't know what that was about, but yeah, took 2 again there and wasn't really sure if I was going to be able to hold them off. I knew my lefts were older than his, so I knew it was going to be extremely loose. And luckily it just played out to my favor there. Got a good jump and took off.
Well, now that you're locked into the playoffs as well, what's going to be the focus on you for the rest of the season? Is it just taking the weeks as they come, backing it off a bit now that you're secure, or go just as hard to try and go for glory?
Feel it out, man. Feel it out. Mainly, I just want to race respectfully and clean, and that's kind of the first thing. And obviously, I haven't really. This is only my second event here. I didn't run the Atlanta race last week, so maybe that's a little bit more enticing to run a little bit more now that I got to win. So.
Well, we'll wish you the best of luck then when we go racing next week at the Chicago Street Course. Congratulations on taking home your first win of the season, and we'll see you next week in Illinois.
Thank you, sir.
Peyton Snyder comes home number 1 this afternoon. That'll bring up the driver that finished first in stages 1 and 2, but could not go for the full sweep. It may be pole 1 and 2 for the 1 and 1 for the stages, but it is second place overall. He is standing by with Derek Watson.
Well, Pacey, a good run overall night, a P2, as Nolan said, won the stages tonight, but came up a little short here on the victory. Was there anything you think you could have done different to get around, Peyton?
It really just come down to that final pit stop. I just spun the tires too much trying to leave fast. As I said in the interview earlier, it was all about the restarts and track position. Unfortunately, I just didn't have that coming into the race, so wasn't much I could do differently. At least on my end. So
I think overall, maybe describe this as a very Richmond type of night. A lot of cars kind of just, getting each other, spinning each other around. Were there any surprises, any takeaways, anything you could learn from this race tonight?
Nah, I mean, it's just short track race, and at the end of the day, I just don't like the way the Gen 7 drives short tracks personally. But that's just how it is, and there's not really much you can take away. It's just what we're with right now. So.
Well, if you don't like the short tracks, good news. Next week, the road course, Chicago Street Course. What are you looking forward to there?
Oh, I love the road courses. Still don't like the car, but the road course I normally perform pretty well on. So definitely excited to get to the streets of Chicago and seeing what we can do there.
Fair enough. Well, listen, congrats on the stage wins. Congrats on P2, and we'll see you in 1 week in Illinois.
All right, thank you.
All right, that is the driver who came home second this evening, and I think now we will catch up with Elena Pelletier-Sharp. Elena, a bit of an exciting night for you, and maybe not the greatest of ways.
Yeah, you can say that. Don't know how I'm here talking to you.
Yeah, a couple beats and bangs, a couple spins, a couple this, couple that. Somehow you still come home P3.
Yeah, it's what it is. Frustrating getting run over 3 times, twice by the same person, but it happens.
Obviously, overall a P3. I'm very excited. I'm guessing for a P3 given on the actions of tonight. But we walk away from this race. Is there anything that you take away from the race? Anything maybe you learned? Anything you can kind of put in your back pocket and use later? Or is this just kind of a wash of a race and we move on?
Somehow 2 tires worked, which was actually the most surprising thing. I took them stage 1 restart, stage 2 restart. I mean, as we moved further into the night, it got looser, a bit more looser, especially on the restarts, which caught me out a couple of times. And that, restart just before the second overtime.
Okay.
But yeah, just somehow I can recover from being spun 3 times is impressive.
Yeah. Well, next week we move on to the Chicago Street Course, a much different style of racing, the first road course on the schedule. What's your outlook for next week?
I like road courses. Chicago's a good one. It would be interesting to see how the tires handle, though, with the new tire model. Whether no tires is still the optimal strat or not.
Mm-hmm. Very much so. Well, listen, congrats on P3, congrats on the podium, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Well, Nolan, my takeaway from these interviews tonight, a lot of love for the road courses. Not something typically we hear from a lot of the Oval League drivers.
No, not something you hear all that often, and I do think it's interesting, right? I mean, it's the Chicago Street Course, which is the track that most stock car racers on iRacing despise. It's the first of two. The second one comes for the cutoff race from the round of 12, and that's going to be at Watkins Glen International, which is, let's be honest, it's the quintessential road course race. We're going to have a road course race in NASCAR calendar. The Glen is usually the first one to get on there. But yeah, Chicago Street Course, it's going to be an interesting one. It's race number 4. I think a lot of tempers still left from tonight. Next week, I'm hoping will be a race where drivers are not going to be too close together, so should be able to just kind of take it easy, let things kind of run off the duck's back, so to speak, and kind of bounce back for the next oval race in 2 weeks.
Yeah, that said, though, that the challenge for next week will be a road course kind of will expose who's good at it and who's not. And if you're not, you may accidentally be on the way of someone who is. And so that may be where the tempers flare up next week. But we'll need to wait and find out if that is the case.
Well, yeah, we'll need to wait and see indeed. Still a lot left to go on Green Flag TV as we get set to go racing at it here once again. When we return on Green Flag TV, it's going to be a trip out to, the Phoenix Raceway. The SRA NASCAR Classic Series will be coming out for you tomorrow night on Saturday nights, with the Blaze Battles ARCA Series out at Sonoma on Sunday, alongside the final race of the SRL Xfinity Series at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. From there, the HTRL Gardner Premier Series takes on Miles the Monster in Dover, Delaware, with us back for more here with the Premier Sim Race Sim Game Expo Truck Series on Wednesdays and the Average Joe Sim Racing Leagues on Thursdays at the Rockingham Raceway. From there, it's a trip to the Windy City here for the Bolt Racing League and their Lightning Series. Want to find out more about who we are and what we can offer you? Check us out today at www.greenflagtv.com. My name is Will Rempel, and joining me for the back quarter of this race has been Derek Watson. Thank you all so much for joining us, and we'll see you all next week when we go racing in Chicago.